Hey Dad, I'm designing an app for iOS and I want to know how to use Swift to gain the Factorial.
Yes, sure. I can try to help you with it. Okay. When you are developing for iOS, Mac, Apple TV, or Apple Watch, there are different options. But there is one very robust and intuitive programming language that was created by Apple. Its name is Swift. I really strongly recommend that you learn that language. Let me give you some idea how you can calculate factorial using Swift. First, there is a iterative method. The iterative method that is very common for all the language is the one in which you will use a loop to calculate factorial. In this loop, you multiply the number from 1 to n. Here you can see one example. Factorial iterative. This function is in Swift, and first you will check that you will not receive negative numbers. Okay, then you initialize the result, and then you do the implementation of the loop. You can find here it's very simple to see how the loops works. Okay, this is efficient and use a constant space of memory. Okay, and is very recommended for you in this case. There are other methods that you can use to calculate factorial with Swift. One of them is the recursive method. Recursive method is when you have a function that calls itself, decrementing the values of n by 1. Okay, this is one example where you have a function. This function has the validation for non-negative numbers and have the case when n equals 0, you return 1. This is one particular case for factorial. And then at the time of multiplication, you call the function itself, sending the value of n with decrement of 1. This is very elegant and easy to understand, but you can have a stack overflow if you have a very large value for n. Another option that you have is using functional programming. With Swift, you can use functional programming using Swift reduce method, which one you can create a sequence of numbers and reduce them by multiplying. Here you have an example when you can have the sequence from 1 to n and reduce them using multiplying. You can see that it's very concise and liberal functional programming, but maybe less intuitive than other language for some people who are not familiar with this language.
Thanks, Dad!